Hello everyone and welcome to Bhasi's IAS. Let's take up today's news analysis, that is 8th December 2019. Let's get into our first article of discussion. Our first article is regarding the death of Unnao rape victim. Priyanka and Akhilesh link Unnao rape case accused to BJP. Father of the victim demands the accused either be hanged or shot dead. First, we'll try to understand why in news. This is in news because of the death of Unnao rape victim last day. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav linked the accused to BJP. And the Bahujan Samajwadi Party chief Mayawati met the governor and submitted a memorandum demanding action against the culprits. Father of the victim demanded that the accused have either be hanged or be shot dead as in the case in Hyderabad type encounter. This is the only demand he have. At the same time, Congress leader Mr. Rahul Gandhi have commended that the saddening and heart-wrenching death of the innocent daughter of Unnao that has shamed humanity has left me angered and stunned. Another daughter has lost her life while awaiting for justice. So, in light of this news that regarding the death and the related many rape cases across different parts of the country, we'll have a next article that relates to what are the laws on rape and sexual crimes in India. So, laws on rape and sexual crimes in India. We'll also see how have they changed over the time and when was the death penalty cause included in this. So, under this particular discussion, we'll have a quick reference towards all these subheadings, that is, why this is in news, what is the history behind the laws on rape and sexual crimes in India, what is IPC have for, and basically we'll see the definition of rape, what is a rape means, okay. Definition, criminal law amendments regarding this, is the case on rape and sexual crimes are gender specific or gender neutral. We'll see also on that. And last one is against minors, what are the specific laws which is prevailing in the country. So let's get into the article and see why is in news first. While considering why this is in news, because of two different things. First one is Hyderabad rape and death case. Second one is the survivor of Unnao death case also was being burned and then she succumbed to her injuries last day. So these two have made the headlines across different media and news in India. So after these two incidents, there is an outcry for justice for the victims. Within and outside Parliament, there has been a clamour to make the criminal justice system tougher of an offender committing sexual crimes against women and children. So while we consider in the history of the laws in India regarding rapes and sexual crimes, we can see that the codification of Indian laws began with the enactment of Charter Act of 1833. So codification of Indian acts, before it was based upon religion, and codification to in a secular term was done in the Charter Act of 1833 by the British Parliament, which led to establishment of the first Law Commission under the chairmanship of Lord Macaulay. So first Law Commission was also established based upon Charter Act of 1833 under the chairmanship of Lord Macaulay. Second thing is that rape was clearly defined as an offence, was first introduced in the IPC in the 1860. So 1860 in Indian Penal Code, we have included a definition for rape. We have defined it very clearly. Prior to this, there has been diverse and conflicting laws prevailing across India. Next, we'll see what is the IPC or the Indian Penal Code says. Indian Penal Code talked about Section 375 of the IPC made punishable the act of sex by a man with a woman if it was done against her will or without her consent. Next, we'll try to understand what is a rape or what is the clear definition of a rape as per the law in the land. So while considering what is rape, we can understand that when the definition of rape also included sex when it is without the consent of the person, first one. And second one, if it is done with the consent of women, if she is blackmailed, that is, we can obtain by putting her or any person in whom she is interested or whom she is having a relationship or maybe family members or husband, anybody, in fear of their death, or if they're blackmailing, saying that they will hurt them or something, that is with the consent also is considered as rape. And last one is that sex with or without her consent when she is under 18 years. that is considered as rape. However, there is an exception to this. There is an exception saying that sexual intercourse or sexual act by a man with his wife and wife is not being under the age of 15 years of age is not rape. Section 376 provides for 7 years of jail term to life imprisonment to whosoever commits the offense of rape. Next, we'll see, are the laws are gender neutral? Answer is yes. Following the directions of Supreme Court in a public interest litigation bill initiated by an NGO to widen the definition of sexual intercourse under the Article 375 of the IPC have recommended that we have to widen the scope of rape law to make it gender neutral. While the rape law in India is even today remains gender specific, as the perpetrator of the offence can only be a man, the 172nd report of the Law Commission have led to amendments in the Indian Evidence Act in 2002. A new provision was inserted which barred putting questions in the cross-examination of the victim as to her general immoral character in rape or attempt to rape cases. Now we'll try to understand what is the current scenario or the current status of rape and the sexual crimes in India. So we can understand that the nationwide public outcry in 2012 following the December 16 gang rape and murder in Delhi, famously or infamously we can call it as Nirbhaya case, led to passing of Central Criminal Law Amendment Act of 2012. The case was in 2012. So in 2013, the Criminal Law Amendment Act was passed, which widened the definition of rape and made punishment more stringent. That is, Parliament made the amendments on the recommendations of Justice J.S. Verma Committee. So, based upon the recommendations of Justice J.S. Verma Committee, which was constituted to relook the criminal laws in the country and recommend changes, this act was amended and 2013 Criminal Law Amendment Act was done. This was done, the rules were made stricter because of the Nirbhaya case or rape case and death in the year 2012. And this 2013 Criminal Law Amendment Act, which came into be effective on April 2nd, 2013, increased jail terms in most sexual assault cases and also provided for the death penalty in rape cases that cause death of the victim or leaves her in a vegetative state. It also created new offences such as use of criminal force on a woman with intent or to destroy, voyeurism, stalking, etc. Punishment of gang rape was also increased to 20 years of life imprisonment from the earlier 10 years to life imprisonment. And also in this 2013 Act, clearly defined these offences and allocated punishment for certain offences such as unwelcome physical contact, words or gestures, demand or request for sexual favors, showing pornography against the will of a woman, or making sexual remarks. So all these things were added, and even a punishable up to 3-year term was in jail was added to this against these offences. Offence of acid attack was also increased to 10 years of imprisonment in this respective 2013 amendment. Now we'll try to understand what about offences against minors in India. So in Jan 28, we know that there is a misfortune case happened in Kathua where 8-year-old girl in Resna village near Kathua in Jammu and Kashmir was abducted, raped and murdered by a group of men. The news of the shocking act led to nationwide protest and calls for harsher punishment. So in 2018, a new amendment was done to the passing of Criminal Law Amendment Act of 2018. So we know that 2013 this was done because of 2012 Delhi gang rape or Nirbhaya case, and in 2018 again changes was done because of the Kathua minor rape case. Criminal Law Amendment was done. So what was added in this amendment is that first time we have put death penalty as a possible punishment for a rape of a girl under 12 years. If rape is under 12 years, death penalty will be added. That is the first time Indian law is adding a something law like this, and a minimum punishment is 20 years in jail. This is the minimum punishment if the rape is against a minor. Another new section was also inserted in the IPC to specifically deal with rape or a girl if below 16 years. The minimum provision made the offence punishable within minimum imprisonment of 20 years, which may extend to imprisonment for life, and minimum jail term for rape, which has remained unchanged since the introduction of IPC in 1860, was increased from 7 years to 10 years. So under this particular article, we have seen why in news, what is the history behind the rape and the sexual crimes laws in India, what is IPC talking about, definition of rape, criminal law amendments we have seen 2013 and 2018. 2013 because of 2012 Nirbhaya case, 2018 because of the Kathua minor rape case. And gender neutral conditions, is it gender specific or gender neutral in India, and what is about the minors. Let's get into our next article of discussion. This is regarding a stock scandal, Kaveh stock scandal. Why has SEBI banned a stockbroking firm from taking new clients? What happened to the clients? So under this particular discussion, we'll try to understand first thing, why in news? Okay, why a stock scandal is in news now, and how are the customers affected, or how many customers does Kaveh have, and why was the payouts were delayed, and what happened to the affected clients or the customers, and what's the current status. First, we'll try to understand why in news. This is in news because SEBI, or the Securities and Exchange Board of India, passed the expatriate and interim order against Kaveh Stockbroking. Kaveh Stockbroking is a firm which is based in Hyderabad, prohibiting it from taking new clients in respect of its stockbroking activities. So, in view of the recent developments in the securities market, the NSE, or the National Stock Exchange, issued an 11-point advisory to investors on how to keep the stock safe. So, how many customers does Kaveh as a firm have? Kaveh Stockbroking has more than a million retail broking customers and executes over 2 lakh transactions daily on behalf of its clients. The broking firm has been in the news for the last few days as some of the clients complained of delayed payments. So, the first customers were complained of delayed payments. Typically, a person should get the money within 3 days, and even after 7 days, the clients were not getting money in their account regarding the transactions or after executing the trades. So then we'll try to understand why their payments were delayed. So first, the broking firm has said that delay in payments was on account of some technical issues, but according to a preliminary probe by SEBI and NSE, the late transfer was on account of alleged misuse of client securities by this firm. So according to SEBI, they issued an order on November 22nd. The broking firm credited funds generated by pledging client securities into its own accounts. SEBI has barred Kaveh Stockbroking from signing new clients. So what has happened to the affected clients? Most of them got their amount back, but it is estimated that a total of around 95,000 clients of Kaveh Stockbroking has been affected. So almost 95,000 people are affected. Depository has already been transferred securities of nearly 83,000 clients from the broking firm amounts to respective client accounts. Rest of the clients will have to wait since SIT has put a stay on any further transfer of securities from Kaveh accounts to client accounts. Now let us understand what is the current status of this case. Current status, we can see that Bombay Stock Exchange and NSE have suspended the broking membership of Kaveh. Bombay Stock Exchange and NSE have suspended the broking membership of Kaveh. NSE is conducting a forensic audit to ascertain further details regarding alleged misuse of credit or client securities. Kaveh Stockbroking filed an appeal as SAT to challenge its suspension, but the appeal was dismissed, with the Kaveh being directed to file an appeal with the NSE. So the coming week would see regulator deciding on the appeal filed by the lenders from whom Kaveh Stockbroking raised funds by pledging client securities. So the capital market watchdog will take further action against Kaveh Stocking, as well as, since the earlier order was only an ex parte interim order. And when we are talking about what about the way out for investors who are already invested, clients of Kaveh Stockbroking have obviously reasons to be worried. SEBI order have clearly stated that broking firm will not be able to further misuse client securities even if it has the power of attorney, as the depositories have been given clear instructions in this regard. More importantly, most of the affected clients have already got their securities in their respective accounts. Clients of Kaveh Stockbroking, however, should ensure that all their holdings are being reflected in their demat accounts. Let's take a recap of our discussion regarding Kaveh stock scandal. We have discussed why in news and what is the status of what are the customers, what is the payouts delayed, why it is delayed, affects the clients, what's the current status. That's all for today. Hope this helps. Thank you.